Hey everyone, my name is Annie and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to share with you guys my tips and tricks on how to finish up your products. So you might have just like a really large collection that you want to dwindle down a little bit, but you don't want to declutter because you either don't have anyone to give the items to, or you don't want to just get rid of something that you didn't get your full money's worth out of, or whatever reason. Or you have a project to use it up that you were working on and you definitely want to see some really good progress on those products, or whatever other reason you might have for wanting to work through some products. I just figured I'd throw together some tips and tricks for you guys. I've been working on these for a while. As you've seen my project Use It Up and recent empties videos and stuff like that, I have been making some really good progress on some products. So I just wanted to share my tips and tricks with you guys. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, let's go ahead and jump right on into the video. So I figure we'll start off with at least what I do first when I get in the shower, and that is wash my body. So first and foremost, I go in with an exfoliating glove. I use bars of soap or just like an unscented body wash, or just a very gentle body wash or something like that, like the Dove Deep Moisture. I've got like an Aveeno unscented or something just kind of along those lines. And I will fill up my palm with product and I'll just kind of run it under the water for a second just to get it wet. I'll work up a bit of a lather, really work it into the glove so it's not just gonna like rub around on my skin and not work. So that way I can still get the exfoliation factor. But once it's kind of worked into the glove, I'll just go right in. That'll exfoliate my whole body. That'll take care of everything. But that's just a good way to get like a pre-cleanse or like a first cleanse going on. And a good way to use up if you have like an unscented product you're not the biggest fan of, or just a product in general that you're just kind of trying to work through, but you don't want to waste it. This is a good way to go in with that. I've definitely been a really big fan of exfoliating gloves lately. They just get a really good base clean. You feel really clean once you've done that first go around with an exfoliating glove. And then from there, I will go in with my silicone scrub brush. So you might have one of these, or a loofah, or washcloth, African net sponge, or just any form to clean your body with. This is just what I use, and this is what I enjoy. I find them very easy to clean. It just works really well for me in general, but I'll go in with whatever body wash I'm using, and I will just completely coat the top. So obviously it's just miming things, but that's because I'm not about to take a shower, so I don't want to waste anything. But I will completely coat the top. I'll run it underwater really quickly, not to wash anything off, but just to kind of work up a suds. And then, I'll rub it together to continue to work up a suds, and then I'll just go all over, wash my body. You guys know how that works. But I use a ton of product on this. One, because it's fairly large and it's fairly deep. So if I don't use a ton, it'll sometimes like sink to the bottom and then I just won't get to the product. But also, it's just a good way to work through some of your products. As you guys have seen in previous videos, I have quite a few body washes. So I'm definitely trying to finish some up before I continue to pick up more, because I clearly have a shopping problem. But just going ham with your products in general is just the best way to use them up. Of course, if you're using more product, it's going to, you're gonna finish the bottle faster. That's just how it works. But I love going in with a ton of body wash. It makes a really nice lather. If it's a scented one, you can just really get a really strong scent from that. I think it's really fun. Like, I can smell the body wash I used last night on this and it smells really good. But definitely recommend, if you're trying to go through body washes, do a base clean with an exfoliating glove and do a second cleanse with the tool of your choice. And that'll help you. First off, you're working through two products at once, so you're getting like double use, or you can use the same product in both forms and you'll just be finishing it that much faster. So the next step I usually go in with a couple times a week is exfoliating. So scrubs tend to come in two forms. You'll either have a tub or a tube. Either one is pretty easy to use up. I tend to use a lot of scrub, and I try and exfoliate every other day. Sometimes it's just too frequent and I have to take a bit of a break, but in general, that's just what works best for me. So, tip number one is more frequent exfoliation. You're definitely gonna run through your products faster if you're using them more frequently. But I also go in with a ton of product. First off, that just works better for me. I can spread it across my body better, and then I know I'm covering my whole leg, or I'm covering my whole arm or torso or whatever. I'm not just getting the weird patchiness that's not fully exfoliating. I'm getting everything, and then it's a more even application. But I will go in, I scoop out almost like an entire handful, and then I'll rub it in between my hands, and I'll go into my arms, or I'll go into my legs, and then I go back into the tub and do whichever part of my body I didn't just cover. So I always double dip. It works for me. It's the process that I've found to work best for me, especially if I'm gonna be like shaving. I have to get a really good exfoliation before I shave. Otherwise I get razor burns, strawberry legs, I get all that fun stuff. But if I exfoliate first, that's the best process for me. But definitely double dipping. If it's a tube product, squeeze out a couple different times, because a quarter size amount is not gonna cover your whole body for exfoliation. Even like the Dove body polishes, for those, a little bit does go a long way, so those take me longer to work through. But at the end of the day, if you're just scooping out a huge amount of product and working it all across your body and using it more frequently, it's definitely going to be used up quicker. And then it's out of your collection. You can make room for something new and exciting, or you can just keep dwindling from there if you feel like you have too much, which is definitely something I feel. I know I'm trying to dwindle down at the moment, but definitely go in with more product than you might think you need for exfoliation. This is not a product where a little bit goes a long way at all. And so another step I try and implement at least when I exfoliate, but I'm trying to be better about it almost every day, but that is using an in-shower body lotion. And of course there's brands like Jergens and Nivea that produce in-shower body lotions, but I also like to use like my Bath & Body Works body creams, especially if it's a scent I don't like, or if the formula is super yellow to the point where if I use it on my skin I look sickly. That's the best way for me to use them, is as an in-shower body lotion. And so I'll just grab whatever body cream I want to use, and I will use an obnoxious amount, like more than you would use if you're just lotioning, because you want it to spread as evenly as possible, first and foremost, but you don't want to have to be like working to rub it in. Your skin is going to be wet, it's going to slide around anyways, and it's just more of like a pre-moisturization for that added level of moisture, if that makes any sense. But you're not working the product into your skin as deeply as you would if you were just lotioning post-shower, because you're going to be hopping back in the water and rinsing it all off anyways. So you don't have to work as hard. You can use more product that way. Like, that's how I finished my strawberry pound cake. I had about half the bottle left, and that was like 3 or 4 showers worth. So something like this, where you can see I have maybe a third, a little over a third, this would be like 2 showers worth. 3 if I cut it open, but that, for lotioning purposes, that's like a week's worth left for me. But as an in-shower body lotion, because I use twice as much product, it's definitely gonna fly by a lot faster. And then when you get out of the shower, that's when I use my regular lotion, and it might also be a body cream depending on what I'm using that night. But this is something, again, use a little bit more than you think you need to. Obviously you don't want to overuse, because that's the point where you're gonna have like the white streaks, you're gonna be kind of slippery. It's not going to soak in as nicely. Sometimes the product can dry and you'll be able to like peel it off of you. It's gross if you use too much. So this is the point in the routine where it's harder to use them up as quickly, but if you're consistent, you can still use them. You can still use them up. But something like just a lotion, I will apply morning and night if I'm trying to use it up. So I'm the type of person, I shower at night. So typically that's when I'm doing my lotions and my sprays and all of that stuff. But especially heading into spring and summer, when, you know, the sun's beating down on you, kind of drying out your skin a bit more, lotioning in the morning before you go out for the day is definitely beneficial. Obviously not something super heavy because you're gonna get sweaty, but definitely apply morning and night. That's a good way to get the extra moisturization, just that your skin needs depending on if you have dry skin or not. I have dry skin, so that works for me, but it's something you really can't over apply because it'll be kind of funky. So morning and night is the best route for me. Body creams I find easier to use up than body lotions. The formula is a little bit thicker, so it kind of holds better when I'm rubbing it in. This formula is thinner, so it's a little bit slipperier, so the white streaks are a little bit more prominent, at least for me. But biggest tip is apply morning and night. That way you're using them twice as often, you're gonna see twice as much progress. So depending on if you use a perfume or not, this will be last or second to last step, but fine fragrance mist. I don't go a day where I don't wear a fine fragrance mist. I love them. As you guys have seen, I have quite a collection of them. So I definitely am trying to work through some scents so that way I can kind of keep it contained. But first and foremost, with a fine fragrance mist, it is not a perfume. It is not something you just do a couple spritzes on the wrist, rub it together, do pressure points or whatever. It's something, if you want to smell good, if you want to smell at all, you have to use more of it. It's not gonna last if you just use the teensiest, tiniest bit. That's just the first and foremost of fragrance mists. So the more you use, first off, the better you'll smell because it's actually going to stick around. But you just have to use more. That's just the reality of a fine fragrance mist. To be fair, some are very potent, so there are going to be some that you don't need a ton of, but for the most part, you will need a lot in order to still smell it like halfway through the day or even an hour later. But secondly, find a scent you love. Because if you find a scent you love, you are more likely to gravitate towards it, you are more likely to use it, and you are more likely to want to reapply it, which is thirdly, reapply your scents. That is one, how you're gonna smell best for longest, but two, how you're gonna use up your product. If you just spray it once in the morning and call it a day, you're not gonna smell it halfway through the day. And your product is the bottle is gonna stick around for a lot longer. So find a scent you love, reapply throughout the day, and apply like crazy. There is no, you can't overdo it on some of these fragrance mists. Some of them you can. Especially some of the signature scents are very potent, but the fun little seasonal scents or Bodycology scents, Find Your Happy Place, Body Fantasies, a lot of fragrance mists you can apply a ton of and it's not gonna be too much. So when I'm applying, just an example, this is kind of how I apply in the mornings. And this is just the top half of my body. I'll go on my legs, I'll go on my back if I can reach, depending on if my hair is in the way or not. But I definitely make sure to concentrate on my clothing because the scent is going to last longer on your clothes than it is on your skin. It just kind of soaks into the fabric that way. And your skin, there really isn't, you can't really soak into the skin. That would be kind of weird if scents soaked into your skin. But they do really soak into the fabrics. So if you want to smell good all day. If you want to work through your fragrance mists, spray like crazy, find a scent you love, and soak it into your clothing. Sometimes I'll even, like before I've put the outfit on, I'll just go ahead and spray my clothes like crazy and then put it on and then maybe do a reapplication. But just from using that, I don't know if you guys can see a difference or not, but I smell good in about an hour, or whenever I'm getting ready for work, I'll do the same thing, work through more of this bottle. I also use it at night after I've put on my lotion, so that's at least 3 applications a day. And you guys saw what I just did. That was a ton of sprays, and that didn't even cover the bottom half of my body because I'm sitting down. But I'll do about that same amount on my pants, just so I can still smell really good all day. And sometimes, like at work, I'll put on a jacket, so that kind of diminishes the scent, but on my pants, I can still smell it. But those are my absolute best tricks for using up a fine fragrance mist. You have to love the scent. Even if you don't love the scent, find a way to love the scent. If you like it as a room spray, but you don't like it on yourself, use it as a room spray. Like, no one's stopping you. You're still getting to enjoy the smell. If you absolutely cannot tolerate it, maybe find someone who can. I don't have the best tips for if you can't tolerate a scent, because I try to not buy what I can't tolerate, but I understand we all hit those points sometimes where we find something, we thought we loved it, and then our preferences change, or it's just not what we thought it was gonna be, or something like that. But spray it on clothes, spray it on curtains, spray it on couches, use it as a bathroom spray. There's so many ways to use up fine fragrance mists that include like not even just using it on yourself. But if you use it like a 3 times a day application, that alone is gonna help you fly through this no problem. All right, you guys, that is everything. Thank you so much for watching. And if you like what you saw, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, leave me a like and a comment below, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.